G'day, Stu from UAVFutures. Welcome to our Happy Flying, our weekly FPV live stream. But I do need to check the microphone, go through all these sorts of things before we start. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of FPV stuff. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for tuning in. We are here week in, week out. It is the best part of my working week. But let me know too what you guys are up to. This is what we're going to be talking about in today's stream. Let me put this on screen. So I am going to talk about a little bit about mental health. Of course, we're going to be talking about the ELRS and the trademark issue and filling some people in on what's going on around that and why it kind of is a big deal and some things to look out for in the future. I want to talk about this new radio that I've got right here, which you will be seeing in a couple of days. We spoke a little bit about it, but just some behind the scenes things from FlySky. And we've got to talk about DJI in Australia this time. I know we talk about it a lot. This isn't anything about the prices and stuff. This is more about one of the rulings, how it's going to affect DJI in Australia specifically. We're going to talk about some battery health and dents and answer some questions over on DJI FPV. I want to show you a little bit about HDzero, and then in the background behind just here, we're also going to be doing a bit of a follow-up, talking about the printer, which has basically been going non-stop since I got it in this household, and showing you if you're on the fence about 3D printing. I did a video on this yesterday, but answering some questions live and like why it is so awesome. And you wouldn't believe it. The reason why I guess I was checking this microphone is because like 5 minutes before I started the stream, my next door neighbor started to do some power washing, like, and I was like, are you kidding me, of all the times? And then about 20 seconds before I clicked like the live switch over button, it's like, looks like he's finished. So maybe it was just to mess with me a little bit there. But we are here talking, hanging out, talking all things FPV. Let me see who is in the chat. Thank you to all my members who are here. If you would like to become one of those amazing people that supports the channel, helps me do videos like this, there should be a little join button. Let me know if I'm getting this around the right way below my hand somewhere there. You get some bonus videos plus some awesome emojis that you can post as well and some other little benefits. So shout out to Johnny DRC. I think I saw Crazy Rooster, Sparroony in here. Week in, week out, it is great to have everybody's support. Thank you for just tuning in, talking all things FPV, because you guys are the star of the show. When I say this is the best part of my working week, I truly do mean that. Other people saying audio is good. Hopefully, it looks like we've got some other machinery going again now next door. So let me know if that's coming through and I can try and adjust some things on the microphone. We've got Chris Croft in here as well. We got the legend Kiz, Cos1973. We got Neek FPV as well. Johnny DRC, of course, he's here week in, week out. It is fantastic to see everybody. Let's kick it off. We're going to talk about mental health now because we always start that. That is the most important part of this live stream. Yes, it's an FPV drone stream, but you know what's more important than that? You. And I truly do mean that. So I just want to touch on some mental health things before we start. So this goes out to every single person who is watching this. And sometimes you don't know like that you might need to hear this. And I've been there. We're going to be talking about depression and anxiety and some of those things that are kind of uncomfortable. I'm on the other side of that now, but I've never forgotten what it was like. And this is why I like to take the time out of my live stream about drones to send this out into the internet, to maybe reach that one person that it needs to reach, to let them know that they are not alone. And it is okay to feel like this. You don't have to put on a brave face and be perfect. And I know just how difficult it can be. And I just want to let you know that you are valued, you are cared about, you are unique, you are special. And I am really grateful that you are here. So we have an amazing FPV community. FPV changes lives in so many amazing, positive ways. That's why I fell in love with this hobby. And I just want to push that to as many people as I can. And as a bit of a bonus, to use this platform to reach out to those people, because sometimes you can feel extremely isolated. And especially when you're feeling depressed and you don't want to go outside, you don't want to interact with people, and you're just stuck in your own head. I know what that's like. And this is maybe just a little message. Maybe if you are hearing this and you're reflecting on this, I would just like to let you know that you really are cared about. So thank you for being here. And the number one thing that I did is I went and spoke to, I had like when I opened up about it, I had a lot of support, and people were like, hey, you know, they're extremely supportive, but also going to the doctor and talking to them about how I was feeling had a profound impact on my road to recovery. So I'm just putting that out there to, if you are the person that needs to hear this, you are not alone, and you are not isolated, and you have people that care about you, even if they're on the other side of the screen and you have never met them before. That doesn't make those feelings any less true. So I'm just putting that out there. If you need to send me a message, that should be down below. You can always send me a message on DIY FPV as well. Just go over there. There's like a little message icon. You can shoot me a message, or you can write me an email at UAVFutures.com. But I just wanted to put that out there. Kiz Bartlett is saying, if you feel something isn't right with you, act upon it. You do the same thing with your car, so why not with yourself? Absolutely. And a good analogy, not even analogy, a physical thing is like, if I broke my arm, I'm going to go to the doctors, right? I'm not just going to suck it up and be like, oh, well, I guess that's just how it is. No, everything's fine. And like, I've got a snapped bone sticking out there. I'd go to the hospital. I'd go to the doctor. So if you have a broken brain, so to speak, you know, your brain's not working correctly, you're just not feeling right, go to the doctor and talk to them. I can't stress that enough. It was, on my personal experience, an absolute game changer for me on my road to recovery. So just putting that out there. All right. Also, too, we're going to talk about ELRS now in just a second. But if you have any questions about FPV or anything, feel free to put them in the chat. And what I would love is to right now type in the chat, what was the last thing you flew and when was it? So how long ago was the last thing that you flew? Do we have members here that it's been raining a lot, they haven't been flying for a long time? Are they out of the hobby, but they still like to check in? Or are you an absolute FPV addict who has been like flying yesterday, maybe even today? Maybe you are flying right now while listening to this. Please throw that in the chat, because I'd love to know sort of what you guys are doing and how much FPV are we getting in our everyday lives. Alrighty, so someone's saying they like that shirt. Thank you. It's like an Indigenous artist designed this shirt. It's very, very cool. Johnny D is saying, been there, done that. He got some medication and he feels much better now. Other people just saying, talking about the microphone. And Sweet is saying, I got a pair of DJI goggles 3 from Amazon. Go figure. Okay, that's kind of cool. And Crazy Rooster, I've been so busy, I haven't flown since the end of July. Well, you know you can fix that. Maybe we need to do a bit of a challenge. We need to make a video to encourage people to get out, get flying, and just have a good time, because that's what FPV is all about. All right, let's talk about our first thing. This is a follow-up to the ELRS trademark issue. If you haven't heard, recently there was an announcement over on the ELRS Discord, and they also put a blog post on. There should be some links down below. I'm not going to show it on stream because there's some, I don't want to say legal ramifications, but it is just much better if I talk about this in a broad stroke thing. And if you want to investigate, those links are all out there open in the public. You can go and check those out. However, the gist of it, from what I can understand, the ELRS or Express LRS, you know, that is the protocol that I would argue 90% of the FPV scene uses. The other big one would be Crossfire from TBS. That is a little bit older. It's still an absolutely rock solid. Like I really like TBS. I really like what they've done with Crossfire. I just happen to be using ELRS nowadays, and I get a lot of radios in, so ELRS is just a much easier solution to use as a reviewer. I'm not talking about the pros and cons of each system. What I'm talking about, though, is ELRS is an open source project. A bunch of people got together, they developed this protocol and some firmwares and configurators and everything to make our radios. I wish I brought a radio up here besides this one, because I don't know how much I can talk about this one. But so this radio right here, you know, like your Radio Master Pocket. Look, if I just type in right here in the DIY FPV catalog, look at this. There is so much stuff that is ELRS related. Here we go. The Radio Master Boxer Crush. This is a perfect example. So all your Radio Master radios, most of them are going to be ELRS. I don't even know if they make some that aren't anymore. They might make some multi-protocol ones. But yeah, all these radios, they're going to be using ELRS. Why? Because it's awesome, it's relatively cheap, it's a rock solid protocol. Now it's been in development for a couple of years. I think they just had like their 7th birthday. Let me just double check this. I did see a post on their Discord. Happy 7th birthday to ELRS on October 1st, 2018. The initial GitHub commit was published. So there was a lot of work done prior to that. I'm just reading their little thing here. So they just said congrats. That's basically seven years ago. Like, that's how long ELRS has been around. However, what never happened, or what was never taken care of, was trademarking that name. So Express LRS, actually putting a trademark in here. Now, an individual who is not part of the official ELRS team, and I don't know the specifics of how much they were involved. I believe they were part of the public open ELRS Discord. I mean, I'm a part of that. That's open to anybody. Anybody can just go and join that. An individual filed a copyright claim. I'm not sorry. I'm thinking YouTube. Sorry, they filed a trademark claim, and they put that in China, and also they tried to get that done in the States as well. And that would mean that they own the name ELRS. Like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand take this with a grain of salt if I'm using the wrong terminology and the legal jargon and those things, but that's a big deal. And normally you don't have to worry about this too much with open source projects, and it is in the public, like the public's working on it anyway, and there's a difference between the ELRS code that has been developed open source and actually calling your project Express LRS or ELRS. But the implications are, if this individual is successful in registering that, and there is ways to fight that and say, hey, they shouldn't really own that, they're not the owners of this, and blah blah blah, that's kind of bad news, because then there is the possibility for, in the future, legal ramifications of, like, look, they're using my logo. These companies like Radio Master, that individual could say, hey, I haven't given them permission to slap the ELRS logo on their box or on their manuals, or there could be like some financial contribution. They could say they're using all my stuff, they're using my ELRS things when I haven't given them permission, or they haven't given me enough money to do that. So it is a bit of a concerning situation, and I guess we all lose out from this, because ELRS could have prevented this from, yes, registering that trademark. I guess they had some good faith that this wouldn't be stolen, an open source public project for the community. I don't know why this individual has decided to do this, if it's vindictive, if it's financial, if they truly believe that they own the ELRS, I don't know, the trademark of it. But it's annoying because, number one, all those funds that now have to be spent to register that trademark are funds that aren't spent on developing a better protocol and better features for us. Like, it's just basically going to the lawyers, which is annoying. And number two, it's just kind of like it's not the done thing. So it's not really, it's not great. And you don't want it to set a precedent for this in the future, for people trying to steal names and those sorts of things. So it sucks. Johnny DRC is right, is saying it sucks. Green Thumb is saying if push came to shove, could they not just change the name? It's for a brand, not control of the product. Yeah, but people, you don't understand. I think the important thing there, thank you, that is also wanted to touch on. Yeah, I guess they could change names, but it has become so synonymous with that protocol and that brand that it would be like, let's say I controlled the Tiny Whoop trademark now, and I said no one else could use it, like, and I'm in control of that name. Everybody's still going to be searching like it is a big deal to have to change a business or a company name. And that's, I guess, the name is important once it becomes established, and especially it becomes even more valuable the more people that are searching it and using it and discussing it. And a name, from a business point of view and a project popularity and visibility view, is extremely important. So that's I think the wrong way to go about it. Yeah, it sounds easy just to change a name. Like, the idea sounds easy and the premise sounds easy, to change ELRS to whatever else you want to call the new version. But it's you lose a lot. You lose significantly more than you realize by doing that. There's not only a lot of work in doing that and going back and editing a whole bunch of things and changing your configurator and like it's you'd be surprised how much money in the industry would have to change just because of this one person's selfish decision to take that over. So yeah, I agree with Johnny DRC. It sucks. I'm going to say that if you would like to support the devs, if you use ELRS, you like the protocol, and you've never thought twice about, hey, why do we have such cheap, awesome protocols that we can use that are open source? It's kind of like supporting Betaflight. There should be a link, and if there isn't, I will change it after this stream's finished, to go and support the ELRS guys. I also did a video recently, like 2 days ago, on this as well. That has a little bit more information. You can go check that out. I'm not putting the blog post on the screen. There is one part that is in my video, but I've crossed some names out, I guess, for just, I don't want to release all that public information on my channel. I don't want any of this to like stick to me. So I'm sort of insulating myself a little bit about it, just trying to give you the facts, but you can go and read the blog posts and stuff from the ELRS guys. And yeah, there should be a link and also my video on it with a little bit more information as well. Someone's saying, but isn't the name Express LRS, ELRS isn't ELRS just the shorter spelling? I don't know the specific trademark that is being like the nitty gritty of it. I bet if it wasn't a big deal, ELRS wouldn't be making a big deal about it and actually saying, hey guys, we would really appreciate some support here. So anyway, those links should be down below, or at least in my video that was published 2 days ago. And I hope that ELRS gets their trademark through. It is a bit of a warning to some other open source projects. It's kind of, and a lot of people saying this is ELRS's fault. I disagree. I think that the same like I hear that same argument say, oh, if they just did this instead, then these people wouldn't do that. That's almost the same argument that really frustrates me when people get upset if someone gets attacked or something bad happens to them just because of the clothes they are wearing. There should be nothing wrong with having an open source project. The issue is the person doing the wrong thing, not the victim here. So ELRS has done nothing wrong. They could have protected themselves better by doing this in the first place, but I guess they never felt the need to do that. But here we are. Anyway, Anton Got Lost says, in the business world, they are saying that the brand costs way more than the people behind it. Change is possible, but reputation dip and confusion, and most importantly, the precedent of hijacking. There's a great example. So then what happens if this individual wants to make some dodgy stuff for ELRS? We've got all our videos based on like how to learn ELRS, how to bind to ELRS. Now when somebody Googles the ELRS configurator and they see the official ELRS configurator, what happens if that's, so this is a hypothetical, what happens then if let's say I owned the ELRS trademark and I made my own program that people could put on their computer, and then, oh, wouldn't you know, it's just secretly stealing their data or doing something that it shouldn't be on people's PCs. And normally you'd be a little bit wary, but hey, that can't be. I've just watched all Stu's videos on ELRS. I've just watched all Joshua Bardwell's ELRS videos and Mads Tech. Surely it can't be the wrong thing, right? They're all using it. Oh, I guess I'll just load it on my computer. I'll trust them. And now we have a situation where the users, the newcomers into it are vulnerable. So that's a really good point as well. I haven't even thought of that. The hijacking and the potential uses for that name based on the brand and the trust that has been built in the past. You should have protected yourself better. I guess we will have to remember that. That's what somebody else says. There is definitely steps to do that if you're in an industry where you think that there is the possibility for that happening. I guess they will have the final say on what they probably wish they did or didn't do. Okay. Someone said, great explanation of what can go wrong. I guess that's a pretty bad, like there's no good situation. ELRS should be in control of the name, of the trademark, because of all the work that they've done and the dev team and everything and the stuff that they've built. It's amazing. Yeah, not registering the name when this is from FPV, not registering the name when they started the project was a miss. Happens, but every but every open source project needs to do its research and trademark at the onset. It also costs money too. Like if you look at it, like thousands of dollars to register a trademark, depending on where it is, that's not always possible or feasible. If you're a bunch of friends who are getting around coding a small little project that is in the, like your code is in open source anyway, that's probably a little bit, you're probably more excited and it's a little bit down the line. It's not always feasible to do that. I guess once the money, if you are getting, there's probably a good tip. If you are financially gaining something, you should be putting some away. So eventually you can register for that trademark. I don't know. I'm not a copyright. I keep saying copyright because of YouTube. I'm not a trademark lawyer. It's just an unfortunate situation that you can actually make a difference in. That's probably the important part of this video. You watching this right now, there is a link. Go and check it out. You can support, you can do a one-time donation. Go and, if you use ELRS and you've never thought twice about it, have you used their interface? Have you actually gone through and selected on the computer and been like, oh, this is fantastic? That's because of those guys' hard work. And if you've never thought about a product that you get to use for free, there it is. Go send them a donation. And while you're there, become a member of UAVFutures. That's the little join thing. I'll put mine there. If you enjoy my content for free. Alrighty. Kiz Bartlett says, on a happy note, I was asked to organize a financed event for television. That's kind of cool. Give me some more details there, Kiz, on what you think it's going to be like. Or if you want to type a longer message, send me something over on Discord. I'll check it out in a little bit. It does cost money, but it's insurance money. Yes, but if you were developing a project tomorrow and you just started with some friends, would you spend thousands of dollars on it? Maybe ELRS should have done something sooner once it's become more popular. Okay, and now we're going to talk about a radio in just a second, but I would like to answer this question from mainly Electrons. It says, what would be the ideal setup for a 15-year-old in the US? Any decent options still available? Absolutely. Luckily, we've got this on the screen. If you haven't seen DIY FPV, you guys can put some comments in the chat about how awesome it is and why you absolutely should build and go and head over to it. Let's have a look. Right here it is, actually. I have done a video recently. It is called, like, it'd be within the last 2 weeks if you want to, by the time, look at when this is published. And if we have a look at here, the best value digital kit, this is what I recommend. So you'll see there is a little bit in here, and there's basically 2 versions, and this all comes out to around, I think it's $800 to $1,000 US. That does sound like a lot. Bear with me, but it is kit that you will not have to replace. Like, you could happily fly this for the rest of your FPV journey, and everything we talk about that you can see right here. Everything, if they said this is all you can fly, it's like good enough that I wouldn't feel like I'm missing out on other things. I mean, I would fly FPV no matter what you gave me. I absolutely love it. And I'd be like, okay, that's all I can fly. But what I'm trying to say is everything that we talk about right here is good enough that I wouldn't feel like I'm missing out. I don't need that bigger, better, more featured radio or the faster drone. Everything I'm about to show you is awesome, and you don't need to upgrade it. So it's like that thing. You're buying a great value. That's why this backpack here is called the best value digital kit, and this is linked in my post as well. But what you need are the 3 main things. You're going to need a drone, an FPV system, so that's your goggles and the part that also connects to your drone to feed that to you, and your radio. We'll start off with the easiest first, Radio Master Pocket Crush. So it's like $65, awesome ELRS radio. That's my go-to. I love that radio. Then the drone itself, I recommend the Lightning, the YMZ FPV Lightning V2. I know it says $12 here. That's because in the category in the database, that is for the frame. But if we go and have a look here, we've got a bunch of different variations. If we scroll down, here's the ones that come with, like, this one's got an O4E in it. This one's got the walksnail in here. So there's a bunch of different options. And this is where it's important too. So that's about $300 to $400. And here's the important part. If you're in the US, I recommend getting the walksnail Avatar Goggles L, because we've had discussions about DJI. DJI in the States, it's not good. I really like these goggles. They were my goggle of choice in 2024. In 2025, I did switch over and start flying the goggles N3 for my value entry kit. But if you're in the States, don't worry about it. It's like trying to get an Xbox game and only wanting to have Xbox when the only thing in the shops is PlayStation. Like if someone said tomorrow Xbox is banned, probably a better way is if someone tomorrow said PlayStation is banned in the United States or impossible to get, well, why don't I just play Xbox? That's kind of just how I feel here. This is the Xbox and DJI is the PlayStation. So you're always going to be able to get this in the States. If we have a look here, look at the stock levels. In stock, in stock, in stock, in like so many in stock. If we look at the DJI one, this should be interesting actually. Oh, we have a bunch in stock. All these are in stock, in stock, in stock, in stock. However, none of those are American stores. All the American stores, Rect, Race Day Cords, Pyro Drone, they're all out of stock. So you can't get this DJI stuff in the States. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the 3 major things. Goggles will be walksnail, the YMZ Lightning V2, one of my all-time favorite drones, probably my second ever favorite drone. I do really like the Eagle V3, which is from the same company, but this drone right here made FPV for me. Like it just gave me so much more fun in a tiny little form factor. And then just get yourself a charger and some batteries, and the batteries are cheap for this. I've linked a couple of different chargers there. So anyway, that video should be somewhere. It's one of my most recent ones. I'm really proud of it. It will really help as well. But maybe other people have got some different ideas. If you started tomorrow, what would you get? This is my kit. This is my recommendation. Some people might like analog. Some people might be really into racing and they want to go HDzero. This, for me, is the kit that I would recommend. Like say my best friend came over and he said, Stu, I want to do FPV. I just want to get a good kit. What should I buy where I could have the most fun with? This is what I would buy. So, okay, let's see. I want to get a full setup for a friend's kid. Oh, okay. So you're not 15. You're recommending to get that. Yeah, that's the thing there. I don't get to see them often, so I'd probably leave a full setup with them and understanding that he has to get decent sim time before getting it. Thank you. My pleasure. If you send me a code as well, a little message on, where are we? On DIY FPV, you should be able to just find my little profile. Like I've got a lot of discussions here, or there's also the UAVFutures posts here. You can just click on this and you'll be able to send me a message. You view profile, then you can send me a message inside DIY FPV as well. So I've been responding to a whole bunch of it's really, really cool. It's a great place to be. You can find out whatever you need. It's great. Like you can see a bunch of people are searching for different things. It's really interesting to see what people are looking for. Armaton Tadpole. That's a pretty old, I don't even know Armaton made products anymore. All right, I digress. What was I going to talk about next? We've got some cool stuff about the Drone Nationals. Definitely, I'm going to have a look at this actually. Chris posted this 17 minutes ago. Free entry for all spectators. All right. I need to get my act into gear and go check this out. All right. Sorry to my wife who's. I thought this. I don't know why I have this on my as in like it's written on my calendar, but it's on the side part. Like don't forget this. So okay, I have some things to organize. Alrighty, I'm pumped for this. I've been waiting as well because this is so close. Like this is really close to my. This is the closest capital city for me, so I'll be able to drive to this one. Okay. Let's see. Trey's saying, Stu, not sure if you remember, but a couple of weeks ago, I burned a servo that came with my Chapito kit. He's still waiting. He can't wait to fly it, but shipping takes a while. You should be able to switch over and get, is there any local shops that might sell a servo? And Little Stu, do you recommend any light action cams that could fit a 3.5 inch and not add too much weight? Well, 3.5 inch is probably Yeah, it's large enough. I don't really use action cams enough. And I know there's been some new recent ones. The last one that I kind of used was the Thumb, and I wasn't the Thumb 2. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I can't really answer that question. Maybe some other people can put some things in the chat down below. Oh, someone's saying I've been looking at the Thumb 2 reviews. The footage looks pretty decent, stabilized with gyro flow. For me, I just use my onboard air units. That's what I've been using. So I don't like the idea of putting this extra weight on here. I know it's a little bit different if you've got an analog camera and then you want to record some footage. But yeah, that's my expertise when it comes to this. Is probably lacking. I used to really care about action cameras, but now I think the footage that I get from my Cadex Vista, not Cadex Vista, from my Cadex walksnail units, even the 1S board, even the DJI 04 light board is good enough, and I will use that. Someone else says, I can't wait to get the Thumb. Yeah, I felt like my RunCam Thumb footage, and I have done a video of this, was just a little bit shaky. It had a lot of vibrations that I didn't like, which weren't that present in the actual craft itself. I think the DJI Osmo Nano would be perfect for that size, but it's an arm and a leg, and I'm not paying that much. Where is that? Let's see. And that's probably going to be, how do you spell it? Is there a small one? Yes, I'm not sure on that one. Modern HD footage is great on board. Action cameras add weight that you don't need. Thumb 2 works better than Goggle DVR. That's from Johnny D. I say, yeah, I'm talking about the onboard recording as well. All right. This is what I want to talk about next. So last week we spoke about a new radio coming from FlySky. It was this. So this is the PA01 right here. This is way back in like May 27th. Really cool shaped little radio. And check this out. I will have a video hopefully to be released, like the official release. I'm just talking about what's publicly here, and I'm not going to publish my review video before then. But I do have this right here. So I've actually got the radio, and there is some things that you will notice here. There's been a bit of a hiccup when it comes to my radio. Number one, oh, you can't see it on the screen. Okay, well, if you have a look here, they've got this little charging dock, and I don't like that at all. It's a little bit irritating because you've got these three little parts here. Now, I don't know if I have an early prototype one or what's going on. I don't have that. So I can't just plug my radio in, or I don't know if I can USB charge it. I've sent them an email. I can obviously take the batteries out, but I don't have the charging dock. And I don't think you should have to need one. I don't like that. The radio, I've got to change the gimbals, so because they're both centered at the moment, so I've got to make one of these ready for my throttle. But what I will say in this tiny little sneak peek about the FlySky radio, it is, for my hands, I'm a thumbing pilot, the most comfortable radio I have ever held. I'm not talking about the gimbals or any. This is purely on an ergonomical point of view. This radio, like if you look at this, it just fits perfectly. It feels a lot like the Tango 2. I keep looking around because I've got a lot of radios often throughout the house. It's great. The actual feel of this, I love the actual ergonomic design. Now, I don't want to go too much into it because it's not the official review or anything like that. That should be coming out in a couple of days. I've got to get it sorted when it comes to like range testing. I got to change the gimbals out. It's annoying I don't have the charge thing. The gimbals are plastic. So like the plastic, I'm not sure on the price of it. FlySky has done some cool things in the past. It does use ELRS, but I think I can say that. But yeah, I'm really excited for that radio. I'm just a little bit upset that, like, if a big part of this is this charger thing, or what do we need it for? I don't actually have that in the unit that was sent to me. Someone else is saying, I love my FreeSky X-Lite. That's from Johnny DRC. Yeah, I used to like the X-Lite back in the day. I think I flew with that quite a bit. And Shane is saying, looks like the updated Zorro I've been begging Radio Master for. The Zorro was one radio that I never particularly gelled with. I don't know why. I know a lot of people like that. Hopefully you can charge that normally without the base. Yeah, but there's no USB on the bottom right here. There is a USB on the top, but I'm not sure if that's just for the joystick connection. It does have, maybe I can show you right now actually. It does look pretty awesome. Like, check this out. So I am a fan of a little bit of LED and bling that's in here in a sort of charcoal colored case. But yes, expect that on the channel very soon once they officially launch that and I'm allowed to officially publish my review of it. Okay. I'm just catching up on the chat. And looking at the time. Okay, next thing, this one, and I don't know how many of you guys are actually interested in DJI non-FPV stuff. If you've ever flown a non-FPV drone, please let me know. Are you interested in these sort of developments? But the latest news from DJI regarding Australia, and this was with the DJI Mini 5 Pro, it's not good because DJI mucked up. So if I jump over here to screen share, you can see CASA confirms, that's our Civil Aviation Safety Authority, confirms the DJI Mini 5 Pro classification. So it is a couple of grams overweight. I think it's like 254 grams on average, give or take a couple of grams. And if you're the sort of person that is, let's see, I think maybe somebody sent in just a question right here. It is not a sub 250 gram drones. So because it's over, there's some different laws and regulations and things like that you need to take care of. That's a bit of a pain, a bit of a massive oversight when it comes to what DJI should have been doing. I don't know why that happened. A couple of people here are complaining about it. This is 2 days ago on the DJI forum talking about Australia. Basically the exact same thing. Will be classified as a small restricted RPA rather than a sub 250 gram micro drone. And other people saying like the Barbra Streisand effect, if everyone just kept their mouths shut. Well, I think the problem here, it only takes one person. Like maybe CASA was going to find this anyway. They're probably, I don't know how many, they're probably going to review all DJI drones. I don't know if they would have stuck them on the scales, but yeah, it's kind of crazy that DJI usually gets things right. This is interesting. And then people just talk about like, all right, well, is there going to be a new version? What's going to happen to the old version? All those sorts of things. It's actually 0.55 pounds in the States, so like 256 grams. Yeah, the thing is though there, Dave, you're not going to be able to buy it in the States anyway. DJI is evaporated from the US market. I wonder why they couldn't get it 4 grams lighter. Isn't that just a few min on the battery? I'll tell you why. It's because it's a mistake. They absolutely could have done something, like, but they mucked up. That's why. But yeah, if you are using that, and what I can appreciate though is people using that for work and doing things the right way, and that is an important classification for them to be able to go, oh, we can use this. Oh no, now we need some different licenses or different approvals or whatever the process may be. We need to go through those avenues. So it absolutely will affect some people. It's not going to affect us everyday FPV pilots. We're just flying around in the park and having, I'm trying to think how I'm going to word this. Luckily, I only ever fly tiny little drones that are well under that anyway, like the Lightning V2, right? Like, yeah, around in the park. And I'm not doing any real estate things. I'm not flying over roads. I'm not really using it for like filming photography and taking it through people's houses and over yacht clubs or whatever else that a lot of these people, a lot of these pilots using it for their business will do. Transport Canada recently clarified they will consider the Mini 5 Pro as a micro drone despite being 4 grams overweight. Oh, that's kind of cool. And Chris Cross says 2 grams over is insane, and there is a huge speaker inside that weighs about 1.8 grams. And Johnny DRC says micros are the best. They absolutely are. Now, and also too, Shoot, thank you very much. He says, hope everyone is having a great weekend. And Stu, have a great weekend. Thank you, dude. Thank you, brother. It's Monday morning here. This is the best part of my working week. Monday's actually my favorite day, which is probably the opposite of 95% of the world. Mondays, like I get to stream. I've done a whole heap of work, which is filming and editing and pushing videos out. And I feel like after this is where I have like a little bit of a weekend, at least the afternoon anyway. And I usually catch up with some mates on Monday afternoon. So this is my favorite day. So thank you very much. This is the start of my official weekend, even though it's Monday right here. So thank you very much for that super chat. You're a legend. How can I give this a little, heart or something? There we go. I don't know if that pops through, but yeah, thank you very much. Right there, Shoot FPV. If you've got any questions as well, please throw them down in the chat down below. I'll try and answer them as best I can, or if there's any new products you want me to check out. I have a question over here, and this comes from Paul, actually. And this is a little bit on battery tech. Where are we? This was posted an hour ago on like DIY FPV, and it's saying my 4S battery got a dent in it after a fall, but it is still giving good indications on the charger. Should I retire it? So here's a picture of the battery right here. I need to fix this zoom, actually. That reaction does not sound good. Well, I guess once you plug it in to the charger, you can check the cells. One thing I would recommend, like it's always safe. It's always, excuse me, let me recap. Flying batteries, it is always safer to fly an undamaged battery. If it looks bad and you have any safety concerns, you should safely dispose of that LiPo. They're not to be messed with. They need to be monitored very carefully if you're going to go down the route of trying to save them. But I understand people's priority is not always safety, and sometimes there's financials involved too. Like when I first started FPV, I didn't have a surplus of batteries, and every time a battery broke, if I could try and still use that battery, I would attempt to do so. So I understand that, look, if you want to try to save your battery, I completely get it. Now, having a look at this, it looks like it's taken a pretty big dent. However, I've got some good news and bad news. Number one, I'm going to recommend you to smell your LiPo. Now, there could be some toxic chemicals in there. I'm not talking about the safety concerns. This is purely on a way to identify it. If you have any, I take this all to pretend I'm not saying this. Like, don't get upset at me if someone's like, I sniffed those chemicals and now I'm sick. A way to tell if you need to bin that battery, if you smell this and you can smell like a sort of sweet, fruity smell, it's toast, it's cooked. That means the cell has been punctured and there's some bad chemicals. That's what you can smell right there. So it's unhealthy to do for your body, but that's one way. Now, if that is the case, there is also the possibility where you can find that damaged cell, and I have done this, and you can essentially open your battery up, cut out the damaged cell. Say if it's a 4S battery, you can then convert it to a 3S, and it's probably going to be totally fine. You need to be confident with your soldering skills. I've got some videos on my channel somewhere if you want to do a bit of a, I think it's called like rescue your LiPo battery, those sorts of things. Now, If you can't smell it and it doesn't look too badly damaged, put it into your charger, check the cell levels. If they are all holding steady and they're all like, say, 3.8 volts per cell, you are probably right to continue. If one is like 2 volts completely under, so you've got 3 cells that are 3.8, 3.8, 3.8, and the fourth cell is 1.6, that means something's gone wrong. It's cooked. That cell is damaged. However, if all the cells are kind of the same, that gives you some hope. So then plug it into your LiPo charger, charge it up, or watch it, stand with it, like keep it nearby. Do not leave it unattended. Charge it in a safe place. This should always be general LiPo charging practice anyway. And then go for a controlled flight. Go for a flight. Like, you just got to sort of feel it out. There is no hard and fast way to tell a battery that looks like this, if you can't smell it and it looks like it's holding, if it's going to be internally damaged or what's going to be happening. So I would still fly this. Just looking at this, and let's pretend you've given it the sniff test. There's no cell that's drastically out of line with the others. I've charged it up. It's held its charge fine. I would go and fly this. So yeah, that's my advice, and see how it goes. Because batteries are expensive. I get it. I completely get it. It's not, what is this, a 900 4S, possibly even a 6S? So yeah, and it's like fun. The flying is fun. So it's not, sometimes it's not so much the finance. It's like, oh, that's an extra like 5 minutes of FPV that I could be flying that I'm totally addicted to. I want to go fly. So yes. What do we said here? If you want to be on the safe side, retire it, but as long as it doesn't, oh yeah, so it's not swelling. Never charge unsupervised, and we should never charge unsupervised, but that happens a lot. But okay, now we've got some more replies. Retire it. A bigger dent than I thought. Does it have a strange odor? He's discharged it and put it out in a safe space. Okay, there we go. Maybe it did have maybe it is off. Maybe it did smell. Yes. And always dispose of them correctly. Here we go. Got another super chat. This one's coming from, I don't know how to pronounce this, Squee FPV. Thank you, Stu, for keeping us inspired and informed. My absolute pleasure, my friend. I feel so blessed just to be here sharing FPV. FPV completely changed my life, and that is my mission, just to make content for people, to get them inspired about cool stuff, to get them flying. So thank you for your support, because together, you're now part of this, like this family here, that we are here week in, week out, sharing this message of something that just has such a positive impact on my life. And also, too, on a side note, I hope that people can see, I used to get a lot of comments like, oh, this dude's obviously faking his enthusiasm for FPV and drones. There's no way that that's possible after being doing this for a decade. That it really, and I feel completely congruent in that it shines through that I love this hobby. I love these flying little robots and what they do for us, and the community as well that we have built here. It's just so special, and I do feel blessed to be here, to be able to share it with you guys. And another thing too, my videos, I hope that the audience feels what I'm feeling when I'm in the field, just about getting together, flying with my friends, having the best time. You don't have to be the top tier racer or the RF engineer that's breaking everything down. You don't even have to be a long-term remote control geek, so to speak, that's been doing it for 40 years. Like, this hobby is for everybody. And when I discovered FPV, I was just like, I'd never flown anything in my life. I'd never done anything RC besides maybe like some little toy, like cheap thing from Walmart that you might get for Christmas when you're a kid. Besides that, FPV was my first real, like, here is a real radio. Here is just, I want to bring that along, that it is open for everybody. You do not have to, there's all these barriers to entry that you think it's only for certain people and you need to know all these things. That's not true. FPV is for everybody. And I want to bring people along on that message as well, to say, hey, you watching this, you can go and fly and have fun and explore new places and meet cool people and see the world through a completely awe-inspiring, mind-blowing piece of technology, you can go and do that. And it's not even that expensive. Like, come join this hobby. It's going to be amazing. So thank you very much there, Squee FPV, for your donation. I'll give you a little heart here as well. All right. Oh, we've got an update actually. Paul's saying, I crashed it in the street today, not taking any chances. Thanks for the advice, and thanks to the DIY FPV group. I discharged it and threw it away. He can't wait. I'll recuperate it from the trash. Yeah, you should recycle your lithium batteries as well. And we have some fantastic advice here from EUC and FPV saying a new LiPo is a lot cheaper than a new house. Yes. It'll be done if you've discharged it. Oh, yeah, if you have completely discharged it, that LiPo is now dead. That you cannot bring a LiPo, you should not try to bring a LiPo back from life if you've completely discharged all the charge out of it. You've essentially crushed it and taken its soul. It's deceased. There's no real bringing it back from there. But you should get it out from the trash and dispose of it in the correct manner. Take it to a recycling place. All right. Squeeze FPV. Okay, I get it now. Well, thank you. Squeeze FPV. Thank you for the donation, brother. Sorry, I was pronouncing it incorrectly. Alrighty, what did I have on my list? I'm looking at the time. I wanted to talk a little bit about HDzero and CADX and just comparing some of their footages because that's been coming up a little bit. However, I think what I will do, because today is actually a public holiday, so my family is out at the moment. They're at the park. I want to go join them in just a little bit as well, because before they go back to school and back to work and all those sorts of things. However, I want to be here and do this stream for you guys. So the thing I want to talk about is this behind me. I'm not good at this. Right here. So that's my Bamboo Labs A1 mini printer. I did a video on it yesterday. And this is your wake-up call. And I'm telling this to the people who are watching this that might be on the fence about 3D printing. And you think, oh, yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's never been cheaper, like easier to get into. And this is the part that I really want to stress. I've done 3D printing for a while. The number one reason why I was not excited about 3D printing in the past was it was always a pain. Like the best printer that I had, it was pretty old now, but it was like a JG Aurora, like a big box metal thing. And I had to put a piece of paper under it to make sure that we were at the correct like bed level. And I'd have to align it and like use little Allen keys to adjust the plate up and down. It would be a pain to clean, like the build plate, it would just stick to, I had to put like sticky tape down or painter's tape, and it wasn't great. It was really, really annoying. This thing behind me, it does all that. Like it's like it just works. So the best part, even if we go here, have a look at DIY FPV, because it's part of Phaser, the Bamboo Mini A1. This is where I got mine from. So this is from Phaser. This is American, 220 bucks. Mind blowing. Like for the technology that you can get. And I know people will say, hey, I want a really big one and I want to print some massive things. You don't need that. This is me telling you, this is like when I talk about getting a budget, like great value FPV kit. You don't need the best of the best to have an awesome time in FPV. And remember, it's not about having the best gear. It's about having the best time. This absolutely does that for the world of 3D printing. Now, I'm going to show you on the screen just how easy it is. So, where are we? If I can get this on the screen and okay, here's like some cool examples, right? So because I've got it set up on my computer, I used to also have to get like an SD card. So this is like the software that comes with it. You don't have to do this. I've just got it installed on my computer. I also have it installed on my phone, which is where I actually do most of them, but this is just easier to show you guys. So I just typed in, battery lipo, and then let's say I want some battery connectors. Okay, well, this is kind of cool. Ooh. Okay, now I have the A1 Mini. And then how long is this going to take? 4 hours. Let's see. I don't actually use. Let's see what happens. So there's a little download and open thing right here. Okay. This. I probably should have looked into this a little bit more. Like, where is my print option? Can I just print? I'm going to find this on my phone. This will just be way easier. Check this out. All right. Here we go. What was it called? It's called the Rugged Box 1S. Rugged Box 1S. Okay, I don't know if this is it right here. And now I'm going to click prepare to print. I'm going to choose where's the A1 Mini, click next. Okay, the box and the lid, start print. Oh, tell it what filament is in there. I just got some PLA in there. It's sending it to the printer. That's it. I'm not going to have to do anything. Like, in a little bit, this behind me should hopefully start making some noises once it downloads on there, because I don't know what it's doing. It'll go and then just start printing. I don't have to go and clean it. I don't have to worry about, like, is the bed leveled? It's going to do all that for me. It is just such a powerful piece of technology that let me just close this, what did we decide it was? $220. So this is your wake up call for anybody who's been on the fence. And there you go. It's just doing its thing in the background. So it should be able to see it somewhere. Yeah, it's just so powerful to do that, and I think the price is insane value. And I actually got a message today on my YouTube on one of the comments. It was about this video, and they said, "Hey, look, I can either get a Radio Master Pocket or I can get a printer. I can't afford to get a full drone setup. What should I get? Can you please help me?" And my response was, what brings you more joy? If you think you're going to get more out of a 3D printer, like, and I can't believe I'm saying this from an FPV drone perspective, it's just about having a good time. What's going to bring you more joy? And if you're into 3D printing, you don't need anything more expensive to have an awesome time. It does make an annoying noise. It does like a little calibration at the start, I guess, to try to find out. That's it. That's probably the worst thing about it. So, all right. I use that box in my 1S lipos. That's very good. That's from Blue Sky. Project Filaments. Is that what I should look at? That's from Dodgy FPV. The best accessory for any 3D printer, get a filament dryer. Dry filaments print so much better. Okay. What about when how long? Here's a question. How long can you leave filament just on the spool behind the printer? Someone's saying, I wish they'd figure out how to make these printers float. All my horizontal surfaces are buried under stuff all the time. Yeah, I can't help you with that one. Just stack it on top of all those things. Someone says, just need to slice then print. And I'm going to protect Chris Croft. I'm going to print some battery protectors on my A1 Mini. Yeah, it's just it's a great entry point that I don't think I'll ever have to upgrade. And if I really wanted to print something massive, I'd probably just slice it in half and then glue those two pieces together. Okay, let's say how long can I leave general PLA or PLA silk, I think is on there at the moment, on the spool at the back before I have to get it out and dry it. Thanks, Dodgy FPV. Let me know. It's pretty humid here. Okay. So does that mean after every spool, every print, I should be taking this out and drying it? How much is a filament dryer? $100. That one's $40. Is there a filament dryer that you can just keep your filament in and it just sends it out to print? Because that I don't want to have to take my filament out of this every single time that I want to print. Someone's saying I left mine on for a week with no issue. There is some. I feel like I'm printing every day though. But that's going to last me more. I've been printing a lot of things for board games and stuff like that with the kids. All right. I digress. I want to say the most important thing though is you guys. I know we're talking about a whole bunch of drone stuff. I almost forgot about some of the other topics that I wanted to catch up on. However, looking at the time, this part is important. I know sometimes out there, life can be tough and things can hit you in different ways. And sometimes even when things are going absolutely right, you cannot feel correct in your head, whether you be getting some anxiety, maybe you're feeling a little bit depressed, whatever it may be. I would like to let you know that you are not alone. And if these words are resonating with you, specifically you and your situation, then there might be some merit to what I'm about to say, just to say that you are valued, you are cared about. Please do not feel isolated. You are not alone. I'm very grateful that you are here. You can reach me on DIY You can send me an email at UAVFutures@gmail.com. And to most of all, feel like you don't have to just suck it up and suffer in silence. Like I'm trying to remove the stigma around that it's not weak to speak. Please go and talk to some people. And I know what it's like. So I've been through it, and this is just a little message that might be affecting one person's life. They might be having not the greatest time, and this might be the one thing that they hear and they say, hey, you know what, Stu? I did resonate with that, and I would like to do something about it. So today I'm going to make a change, or make one small thing, maybe tell one person, maybe book something in with the doctors to go and talk about it. Maybe just open up to somebody, because you are valued and I do care about you, and I'm very grateful that you're here. Even if we've never met, and even if you're watching this and it's not live and you're watching this as a pre-recording, those feelings are still real. So I'm just putting that out there. All right. That's it for me, guys. I'll let you know how this print goes. Maybe remind me on the next stream. We'll be here. I should have a couple of videos out in the next couple of days. Thank you for everybody who sent through some super chats and donations. Huge shout out to my members. They're all those absolute legends you see there in green. If you would like to have a little green name over in the chat, please think about joining up. It also supports DIY FPV. It supports what I do here on the channel. Not only does it make you like super cool, awesome person, but you also get some bonus videos. So there's some bonus videos on my channel as well that for members only. And a shout out to my patrons, because I know some people in here like Paul and some others are supporters over on Patreon. That link should be down there below as well. And yeah, that's wherever you want to support, I'm very grateful. And it does make a huge difference, especially in today's world when YouTube is harder than ever, to try to do this, to make as much content as we can, and also helps working on things like DIY FPV to bring you the greatest drone website that is online with so many features, like an absolute powerhouse of FPV and what it's going to bring to our community, like looking through the catalog and the marketplace and having builders and the way to connect to people. This is everything that I wanted. And today might be the day when you go, hey, Stu, actually, I appreciate that. And I love this hobby. I would like to support. So those links should be in the little box down below. Even if you're watching your phone, I think you can open up on 3 dots. All right. You guys are amazing. I will see you in like a week live, or in the next couple of days for one of my videos. Stay tuned for this thing. I'm gonna go do some testing with that one tomorrow. Also some other NDAs are lifting that I can talk about. Some cool products that are coming out in the next couple of days. All right, I will see you then.